Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Afina. Thank you for joining me on another crochet tutorial. On today's video, join me in making these crochet skulls. They can be used in many different projects and can be made in many different sizes. So the bigger the yarn, the bigger the hook size, the bigger the skull, and the smaller the yarn and the smaller the hook size, the smaller the skull size. And for this tutorial we will be using this worsted weight yarn. It is 100% acrylic. We need darning needle. We are going to need some stitch markers as well. We will need a pair of scissors, and we are going to need a 5mm crochet hook. Let's get started. To begin, we'll first start by making a slip knot. Once you make your slip knot, make sure that the loop on the hook is a bit loose, because we're going to work on that first chain a number of times. So making sure that this first the loop on, or the current loop on your hook is loose, we're going to make the first chain, and on the back bump of that first chain we're going to place a stitch marker. Going to place a stitch marker like that, and we need a chain of 14. So this is the first one, second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Once you have 14 chains, you go back to the first stitch and make a slip stitch on the first chain, like that. And this is what we currently have. We have a small loop, and then after making a slip stitch we again chain 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Once you have another 14 chains, you go back to the very first chain where we put our first stitch marker, and make another slip knot, slip stitch on the same stitch, like so. So we create a slip stitch on the very first chain that we started with, like that. And now you should be having something that looks like this. You should be having something that looks like this, going to act as our eyes, okay, for the scalp. Once we have created this, now we're going to work single crochets around these both circles. So you can continue by making 20 single crochets. So we're going to make the first single crochet on the hook, on the loop, like that, and we're going to mark that first single crochet. So mark your first single crochet, and we need 19 single crochets. So this is 1, and we need 20 single crochets. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So in order to confirm you have indeed 20 single crochets, I like to make sure I go back and count my stitches. And beginning with the first one here, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And place another stitch marker on the 20th single crochet, like that. After you have marked your first single crochet and your 20th single crochet, again we'll go back to that first single crochet, and you're going to create another slip stitch right on that stitch. So just place your crochet anywhere around that, just to make sure that the slip stitch goes right through the first chain that you did when you started this project, like so. And we are going to repeat the same what we did on this loop on the next loop. So we're going to, you remember, no chaining, you just start working. So we do our first single crochet, and we mark our first single crochet and work 19 more single crochets, and I'll meet you on your 20th single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we're on our 20th single crochet, and I'm just going to mark the 20th single crochet using a stitch marker like that. And again, find the first stitch here and place another slip stitch. So just find out of placing your crochet hook through all the stitches, and make sure find a way of placing your crochet hook through all those stitches, and make sure you place your slip stitch on that very first stitch. Push your yarn through like that, and make your slip stitch. Once you are done, chain one and cut your yarn. So this is what we currently have, and our eye section is done. Now we're going to start working the side of the head, and to work the side of the head, again, make another slip knot. Make another slip knot like this. This is the first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so on the 8th stitch from the first single crochet stitch, we're going to place a stitch marker right there. Mark that stitch and take out the stitch marker from the first one and put it aside. And again, you're going on the other side. Again, you're going to count 8 stitches from the first one, this one. So we'll count again: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the 8th stitch, we are going to place another stitch marker. And once like that, we're going to remove the stitch marker from the first single crochet inside the loop. And so now we are going to work, this is 8 and 8, we're going to work 16 single crochets from this first point to this other point. And this is the back of your work, so I recommend you work on the front side of your work like this, stitches facing. So once you make a slip knot, you attach your hook on the 8th stitch like so, and just chain one to hold the yarn in place. That does not count as a stitch. Okay, so I'll just take off my stitch marker so that I have enough space to work. So after you chain one to hold the new yarn in place on your project like that, we're going to work our first single crochet, so on the same stitch. So that is 1, and we need to work 16 until we get to this other stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Remember to work on both loops. 14, 15, and we take out our stitch marker like so and work our 16th single crochet like that. And so for the second round of the head part, we're not going to chain one. Just make sure that the chain or the loop in your hook is a bit loose. Again, not too loose, it will interfere with the shape of your work. Just loose enough in order for you to be able to turn without interfering with the tension of the last stitch. And then we are going to work 2 together. So this, we're going to make a reduction, and to reduce a single crochet stitch, you put your hook through both loops, pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, and then again put your hook through the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that is a reduction. And now we are going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch, both loops, until we have 2 stitches remaining at the end. So work single crochets, I'll meet you at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 single crochets in between with no reduction. And then we have 2 stitches remaining at the end of our work, and then we're going to work another reduction. And to work a reduction, you just put your hook through both loops, yarn over, pull through. Again, put your hook through the last stitch, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to pull through all 3 like so. And then now we're done. We're going to work another row of reduction. Again, no chaining one, just pull through like so. And again, make a reduction. So you single crochet the first 2 stitches together and the last 2 stitches together until we have 4 in the middle. So we're going to repeat the second row until we have 4 stitches in the middle of the after reducing 2 on each side. So the first, and then first reduction, and then one single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the last 2 together. So that completes round 3. And then now we're going to do round 4. Round 4 again, we're going to work 2 stitches together, the first 2 together, and then 8 single crochets in the middle. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then single crochet the last 2 together. So just pull up your loop, turn your work, do not chain one, and then single crochet the first 2 together again, and then 6 single crochet in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then single crochet the last 2 together. 1 and 2. And now we're going to work the last row of the head part. Again, pull your yarn, work the first 2 together, 1 and 2 like so, and then 4 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then now we're going to work the last 2 together like that. And then now we'll chain 1 and cut our yarn like that. And this is what we should be having. Actually, we need to remove the stitch marker from the very first chain we started with. we already finished with that stitch. And now this is what we currently have. So we are done with the head part. Of course, this is the back side of your head, and this is the front side of your head. So don't worry if the shape is all over the place. We're going to fix it as we go forward. So after we are done with the head part, we are going to now start to the bottom part of the skull, where now the teeth section is. And so again, we start by making a slip knot. There will be a lot of weaving in our ends at the end of this project, but that's okay. But also feel free to work your ends in as you go. So in order to begin the bottom side of our work, we're going to count 8 from the first stitches on the row, and now we're going to count 8 from this first one. So again, we're going to do, so this is 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 there. And we're going to put stitch markers on the 8th stitch there. And we are going to do the same on the other side, whereby this is the first stitch. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to mark that again with another stitch marker, like so. And again, we're going to attach our yarn. And so to attach our yarn, I'm just going to put my hook through and then chain 1 just to attach the yarn on my work. And this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And then I'll take off the stitch marker. And then on the same stitch, I'm going to work a single crochet like that. And this is where we're going to change a bit. So we're going to work 5 single crochets here. So this is the first single crochet, and then second, third, fourth, and fifth single crochet. After we are done 5 single crochets, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And so we're going to skip 6 stitches, 3 from each side of the 2 loops from below. So we're going to skip, let me bring my yarning needle so that I can show you the stitches clearly. So we're going to skip 1, 2, and the 3rd stitch that is holding the stitch marker from the row below, and then we're going to skip the 4th one, 5th one, and 6th one, and then we're going to work our first single crochet on this loop. So after chaining 3, we're going to skip 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to work on the 7th stitch there from where you had your last stitch. So, and then we've worked 5, chain 3, skip 6, and this is the nose section of our skull pattern. And then since we did 5 single crochets on this side, we're going to repeat the same on this other side. So that is 1 single crochet, the 2nd single crochet, 3rd single crochet, 4th single crochet, and 5th and final single crochet for row 1 of the teeth section. So there we go. This is what you should be having. And now that we are done with this stitch markers, we just take them out like so. So this is what you currently have. So we have the eyes, and we have the nose, and we have the head. Now we're going to work the mouth. So bottom of the nose. So bottom of the nose, again, we are not going to chain 1. We'll just make sure our hook, the loop is loose enough for the hook to just, you turn your work without interfering with the tension of the stitch from the row below. And then we're going to work the first 2. We're going to work the 2 single crochets together from the start, work single crochets, and then finish with 2 single crochets together on the last 2 stitches. So to begin with, again, we're going to single crochet the first 2 together. That's 1. And then that leaves us with 3 single crochets. So that is 1, 2, and 3. And now we are here at the chain 3 section from the row below, and we're going to work 3 single crochets there. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3, like that. So that holds the nose in place, and then now we're going to work 3 single crochets and then work the last 2 together. So 1, 2, and 3, and then work the last 2 together. 1 and 2, like that. So this is what we have, the second row from the bottom section. And now you're going to work the teeth. So to work the teeth, this is where there are 2 ways you can do this. You can chain 4, and if you chain 4, the first 3 chains act as your first double crochet, and the 4th chain acts as a chain 1, where we'll skip 1. So if that is the easiest method for you, I recommend you use that method. But if you're open to doing something new and different, let's use my method. So with my method, again, you're just going to make sure your hook is loose enough to just turn your work without messing with the tension of the stitch from the row below. And then to work our first single crochet on this row, I'm just going to take my hook, put through both loops like that, yarn over, pull through, and work a single crochet. So on this single crochet, there's this first loop on the right, and there's this second loop on the left. So we are going to work with the second loop on the left, and you're going to work another single crochet on top of that first single crochet. So the second single crochet will be on top of that first single crochet, like that. And then we're going to work the third one. So always we're going to work with the loop on the left and not the one on the right. So again, take your hook, pull it through just that one single loop that is on the left at the front, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 2, and then now you have 3 single crochets stacked up on top of each other. This is how it looks on the side, and then this is our first double crochet on the row, like that. And then now we're going to chain 1, yarn over, skip 1, skip the next stitch, and work a double crochet on the next stitch. So just to recap, to make sure that we're still on the same page, you can choose to work the 3 single crochets stacked on top of each other to act as your first double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Or you can also choose to chain 3, actually chain 4. The first 3 will act as your first double crochet of the row. Chain 1 will act as a chain 1, you'll skip and work a double crochet. And now the sequence of this row is we're going to be doing chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet. Again, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, and work a double crochet in the next. And then chain 1, skip 1, and work the last double crochet on that row. And now we have created the top part of the teeth. See the top part of the... Does this have a jaw? I don't think it's a jaw, but anyway, this is the first part of the teeth, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 spaces to represent the teeth. And then now we're going to work the second row. So for the second row of the teeth, what we're going to do, again, I won't chain or do anything. I'll just make sure my yarn is loose enough, turn it, and then stack up another 3 single crochets on top of each other to act as my first double crochet. So we'll work the first single crochet, the second single crochet, and the third single crochet. So 3 single crochets stacked up on top of each other, chain 1, yarn over. We're going to skip the chain 1 from the row below and work a double crochet on top of the double crochet from the row below, like so. And if you're chaining 4, you chain 4, that is the first double crochet, skip that and do a double crochet on top of the double crochet. So repeat by chaining 1 and skipping the chain 1 from the row below and putting a double crochet on top of the double crochet. So chain 1, skip the chain 1 from the row below and work a double crochet on top of the double crochet from the row below, like so. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, like that. And our pattern is practically just finished, you know. But this is not the end of our work. What we're going to do next, this is what we're going to do. We are going to again make this loose, but this time round I am going to chain 1. Okay, so I will chain 1. We're going to do the edging. So after you chain 1, you turn your work, And on top of this last double crochet, we'll work our first double crochet, single crochet, and then we'll work a single crochet on the chain one, another single crochet on top of the double crochet, single crochet on the chain one, single crochet on the double crochet, and then repeat that until you get to the end of this row. The end of this row like that. Like that. This is what this looks like. This is how it looks like. And so to work the ribbing on this edge, this is what we're going to do. In order to have like a nicely defined corner right here, what we'll do, we'll take our work and then turn it to work our first single crochet off this side using these two loops at the bottom of them, just at the bottom of where this loop is. So this two, you're going to put your crochet hook right through these two loops. So to make that sharp corner, what you're going to do, we're going to chain one, okay? And after we chain one, on that last single crochet we did, we're going to put our hook through that those two loops that I just showed you, like that, and work a single crochet like that, okay? And so this was either a chain 3 to represent a double crochet. So we need 3 single crochets on the side of the double crochet row from the side, and another three single crochets on the side of the double crochet row. And then now here we had 2 rows, so we need 2 single crochets, one on each row. And then we had 1 2 3 4 and 5 stitches remaining by the side, and then so that is 5 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet on top of every single crochet row that we did. And then we're going to do that all around, so I'll just walk you through that. So the next part is, after doing your first single crochet right here at the side, we're going to remember the 3 single crochets we are stacking on top of each other like that. So we're going to start with where we worked this space where we worked the single crochet from this row. So that is the first single crochet from the side, and then the second single crochet that we stacked up, and then the first single crochet we stacked up. So that means 3 single crochets for the double crochet stitch and the 1 single crochet for the single crochet row. And then we're going to repeat the same. We're going to work 1 single crochet right here, and then 2 single crochets right at the body of that first double crochet like that. And then this single crochet row, we're going to put a single crochet where the 3 double crochets, sorry, the 1 double crochet was acts as the base of that first double crochet. So there we go. And then the second single crochet like so, and then just 1 single crochet like that as we move. And we're going to do this all around, sorry. Like so, like so. So once we get to, you remember this first stitch on the row we did 2 single crochets together. Once you get to that stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochets right on that space. So we're going to do 1, okay, and just pull them in a way that makes, I like closing that big gap by just playing around with the loops there. But then yeah, so this stitch at the corner gets 2 single crochets, and then I'm just going to mark it with a stitch marker so that when I'm coming back I know where the 2 stitches are. So you put a stitch mark on the first of the two single crochets on the same stitch, and then here we have the 4 stitches, so each will just get 1. So 1 2 3 and and 4 single crochets. Okay, and then on the 2 single crochets together, we're going to do 2 single crochets on that one stitch. So 1 and 2. So this time round, we are not going to put a stitch mark on the first stitch of the 2, we're going to put it on the last stitch of the 2. So put a stitch marker on the stitch just that you just created, like that. See how that corner is turning out neatly. See, the skull is coming out. So again, we're going to repeat what we did here. The single crochet stitches here. We're going to repeat that on the same side here, and then I'll meet you when we're So the second last stitch on this round is the 3rd stitch for the double crochet row from the row below. And now remember, we did chain 1 before we started our single crochet row. So this is the hopefully it's a bit clear, but this is what the chain 1 looks like. So we're not going to work on the chain 1. Instead, this first single crochet that we did, we're going to pass our hook here, but then make the single crochet stand sideways like this. We're not going to work it on top like this, we're going to work it sideways like this. So we're going to put our hook through both single crochet stitches like that, and then work a single crochet. And we are done with the first round of single crochet for our skull, like that. The head, the eyes, the nose, the teeth. And now, just to reinforce the border, I like to reinforce the border. You can leave the border like this, but I like to reinforce it. So I'm going to do another single crochet all around, and then put 2 single crochets on where the stitch markers are. So I'm just going to speed up the video, but you can slow it down on the settings section for this side. But yeah, I'm just going to do 1 single crochet all around. I'll show you how to turn the corner here. We'll turn the corner here the same way we turned the corner here, and then we'll turn the corner here the same way we turned that corner there. So to turn this corner here, again, we're going to chain 1. That does not act as a stitch, and then we're going to put our hook through these 2 loops by the side of the single crochet row, like so, like that. And then work 1 single crochet on top of the single crochet like that, and then 1 single crochet on every single crochet all around. So you see this single crochet that is lying on the side, we are going to remember this was the chain 1, then turn. We're not going to work on this. Instead, we're going to work on the side of this first single crochet. So we'll put our hook through both loops like that, but then we're working the single crochet like that. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, again work a single crochet by the side like this, and then a single crochet from the single crochet you just worked on the side like that, and then work all around. So 1 single crochet on top of every single crochet. Once you get to the stitch marker, take off your stitch marker and put 2 single crochets in that stitch. And then put another 2 single crochets on the next stitch marker and take it off. stitch marker and 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet up to the very end. At the end, chain 1 and cut your yarn, and then now we're going to weave in the ends. But before we weave in the ends, this is what we're going to do to our project. So as you can see, the shape is all over the place. You see it has some corners because of how we were handling our project on your turning. Now we're going to stretch it out in 3 easy steps. So we're going to, the first step is to stretch it out on the side like this, and then this is how it looks like. And then again, we're going to stretch it out from the head to the mouth section. And now don't stretch it too much, it will interfere with your stitches. And then now the final side of the stretch is just like this now, to make sure that your skull is a bit more defined. And this is how it looks like. So you can use this curl in different projects. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you on one of the projects I did using these crochet curl projects. And so you can make it in different colors. I have one in black, I have one in multicolors, and there's another one in white. And you can use it in very many different projects, as shown on the next images coming up. Thank you so much for once again joining another creative tutorial. I hope to see you next time. If crocheting and my way of teaching or my way of working these videos is what you're into, please consider subscribing and putting up the notification. Turn on the notifications so that you're able to know once I put a project up. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.